Week one of Thrive 75 is complete, and I want to share my honest wins, lessons, and what's changing for the next week. So each week is going to be about building momentum, not perfection, but consistency. As you remember, I have 4 pillars: wellness, visibility and reach, community, and then obviously work. My business, my book, my sales. And so from the wellness perspective, from a wins, workouts on point, clean eating on point. I feel great from an energy perspective. My recovery has been really strong and my rest and sleep has been phenomenal, even though I was on my cycle last week. So feeling really good. My lessons in all of this is just continuing to listen to my body. Recovery is discipline, and I'm just feeling really good about everything that's happened from that perspective. Visibility and reach perspective, my wins have been really good. Daily posting, content is sparking conversation. I've integrated some reality TV coach content, especially on TikTok and on YouTube, that just allows for people to see my coaching prowess in a new light, and also get to know a little bit more about me and my affinity for reality television. Basically, biggest lessons: editing takes a lot of time, and I need to start working on batch creation for some of that additional content, more on some of my regular posts. So things that I'm doing on LinkedIn and some of those other spaces where in the moment reactions aren't necessary. And also there's additional content I want to be providing, not just the Thrive 75 daily check-ins. And so again, I'm going to be spending some time next week on truly thinking through and executing on editing in advance as much as I can, and batch creation, because I think that that's going to really help. From a community perspective, in real life, hikes, sister friend time, audience engagement, all of that stuff has been so phenomenal. I've gotten to show up for people that I care about. People are showing up for me in phenomenal ways that I can't even express enough gratitude for. Key lessons, not something that I'm surprised by, but community is a force multiplier. And when I ask for help, it shows up, and I couldn't be more grateful. So just really grateful for all of that, and community is so powerful. I haven't had as much traction on growing my audience per se, and obviously my built-in community, that's something that's going to be coming in the next few weeks. So I expected that to be slow, especially with being a really truly foundational week, but it has been really great. And then on the work business, like the books, the sales, advisory side, the book tour is progressing beautifully from a planning and execution perspective. There is a lot that is coming to fruition in real time, but I secured 2 activations today, and several are getting even closer to realization. And so it's just shaping up really beautifully. I'm going to be announcing more details on the tour, but proposals are going out. I'm having great conversations with folks, and I'm just really proud of that. And then from a board perspective, as you really want to secure my first paid board seat in 2026, that's one of the goals that I set. And I am doing some phenomenal work in partnership with Light Her Way, and just feeling really proud of the work that I'm doing on that side. So overall, my lessons is week one is really serving as a foundational week, right? Infrastructure matters, pace, I need to my expectations. It's been challenging. I'm really grateful for progress I've already made in interviewing for my chief of staff / social media manager, who's just going to help me keep things moving forward. But all in all, I'm just feeling really proud of recognizing where I need help, recognizing where I have opportunities, and I've actually been seeing myself and feeling myself make those adjustments. But I've had some really powerful moments, like I said, clean eating, really sticking with my reading, my meditation, my movement, my activity. That's been fantastic. Getting out and being in community with people in real time has been amazing. And so I'm just really proud of everything that's happening from that perspective. This week, I really leaned into knowing what my needs are, growing my habits, and showing up consistently, as well as leaning into community. And that balance is what I think is really helping me achieve thriving on my terms in this moment of high impact, high execution, and get shit done mode. And so I'm just feeling really good about all of that all around. Last week was my grandmother's birthday, the grandmother that I lost in 2019. So honoring her, I have made sure that every single pre-sold copy of the book will be signed and will come with a special surprise gift from a Black-owned brand that I love and adore. And I'm just really, again, grateful to her and grateful to my community and my network and everything that they have done for me. As I think about what's to come, looking ahead for week 2, this week was about foundations. It was about developing that launching pad that would make the rest of every task and every goal that I've set successful, right? I had hoped to be sending out a number of pitches from a media perspective and proposals, etc. But what I did do is I have a comprehensive list of 200 outlets that I need to be reaching out to. I have drafted a lot of those communications. I've made significant progress in a lot of ways. So again, a lot of foundations. And so I really feel like week 2 is going to be about acceleration and execution against the foundation that I've set this week. So it's time to build. It's time to continue with that moment. And so invite you to follow along on the journey. I am going to insert my scorecard up here so you can see, but doing really well on the wellness side. From a brand reach perspective, not a significant amount of movement, although I do feel like I'm doing the right things and taking the right actions. From a community perspective, again, I'm tracking that through subscribers and people who are joining my community. So while I would say I got an A+ on community this week, you're not going to see the needle move there. But from a business perspective, I do feel like we're making progress with respect to pitches and proposals and things that are out there. The courses aren't live yet. So again, those are still looking a bit flat. But as we hit weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think you're going to see a lot more movement in some of these spaces as we get out into the field and we're actually in the thick of the book tour. We're meeting with people. I can see all of those numbers shifting in the ways that we have dreamt and imagined. And so feeling really good overall. But again, here's kind of my scorecard for the week. Not a whole lot of change from last template. And I expected that, especially in the first week, but I feel really good about all of the work that I've put in. Next week, like I said, focus on acceleration, focus on momentum. We're just going to keep pushing forward. I think we're going to have some really good news, some really good feedback. There's some applications I'm submitting this week for amplifying my platform and taking parts of my manuscript and maybe getting them put in new publications. So stay tuned for what that looks like. I'll share that as part of my week 2 updates. Then also once we start to get information back and reactions back, we'll share that. I will say I did get early reader feedback from a lot of people and it has been phenomenal. Right? I have senior leaders down to true target audience, the women in that kind of 22 to 38-year-old reviewing the book, and also men and allies. And I've just gotten such phenomenal reactions and I couldn't be, again, prouder and more excited about what I'm doing. And I got a lot of that feedback last week on the 11th and was digesting it over the course of the weekend. And so again, it's just been such a great time and I'm really proud of the work that I've done and even challenging myself to post every day and challenging myself to do this challenge. I'm just proud of it. I'm happy with what I've done and I know that this is just the beginning. So stay tuned for another long form video next week. We'll do another weekly check-in. Again, those are going to drop on Tuesdays just based on scheduling and my availability and just, trying to balance all of the activities like my hikes and my sister time and family time and really just trying to make sure that I have as balanced an experience as possible. And I model what I preach in my book, right? Which is thriving on your terms means being able to do the things that matter to you, that make you better, or make you the best version of yourself. So thank you so much for following along on this journey. I look forward to checking in with you tomorrow on my daily short, but then also coming back next week and letting you know how all the lessons from week 1 manifested in week 2. Until then, see you later. Continue thriving.